the hum of a drone, a technological sentinel hovering above the vast expanse of wilderness. Poachers, driven by greed, operate in the shadows, threatening the delicate balance of ecosystems. Governments, armed with advanced surveillance technology, seek to combat this illicit activity. But the question arises, should this surveillance extend to sovereign indigenous lands? A complex ethical dilemma, pitting conservation against cultural autonomy. Indigenous communities, often custodians of vast natural resources, hold deep connections to their ancestral lands. Their traditional knowledge and practices have played a crucial role in maintaining ecological balance. However, these lands are also vulnerable to poaching, as poachers exploit their remoteness and lack of enforcement. Drone surveillance offers a powerful tool for monitoring these areas, detecting poachers before they strike. Thermal imaging, high-resolution cameras, and real-time data transmission provide invaluable information. This technology can enhance the effectiveness of anti-poaching patrols, leading to increased apprehensions. It can also deter poachers, sending a clear message that their activities are being monitored. However, the use of drone surveillance raises serious concerns about privacy and sovereignty. Indigenous communities have the right to self-determination, including control over their lands and resources. The uninvited presence of drones can be seen as an intrusion, a violation of their cultural autonomy. It can also be perceived as a form of surveillance, reminiscent of colonial practices. The potential for misuse of drone technology is a significant concern. Data collected by drones could be used for other purposes, such as resource extraction or military operations. This could undermine the trust between governments and indigenous communities. The debate also highlights the tension between conservation goals and indigenous rights. While both parties may share a common goal of protecting wildlife, their approaches may differ. Indigenous communities may have their own methods of monitoring and managing their lands. They may prefer to rely on traditional knowledge and practices rather than external technologies. The effectiveness of drone surveillance in deterring poaching is also a subject of debate. Some argue that it is a highly effective tool, while others suggest that poachers can adapt to it. They may develop countermeasures, such as jamming devices or camouflage techniques. The cost of implementing and maintaining drone surveillance is a significant factor. It requires substantial investment in technology, personnel, and infrastructure. The question arises, are these resources being used effectively, or could they be better allocated elsewhere? The debate also raises questions about the role of technology in conservation. While technology can be a powerful tool, it should not be seen as a panacea. Conservation requires a holistic approach, addressing the root causes of poaching. This includes addressing poverty, lack of opportunity, and the demand for wildlife products. The involvement of indigenous communities is crucial for the success of any conservation effort. They must be involved in the decision-making process, ensuring that their rights and interests are protected. They must also be empowered to participate in monitoring and managing their lands. The debate also underscores the importance of transparency and accountability. Governments must be transparent about their use of drone technology, providing clear guidelines and oversight. They must also be accountable for any misuse of data or violations of indigenous rights. The question of whether governments should use drone surveillance in sovereign indigenous lands is a complex one. There are no easy answers, and the debate is likely to continue. Ultimately, the decision must be informed by a careful consideration of all factors. It must balance the need to protect wildlife with the rights and interests of indigenous communities. A collaborative approach involving both governments and indigenous communities is essential. This approach should prioritize respect for indigenous sovereignty and cultural autonomy. It should also focus on building trust and fostering partnerships. The use of drones should be based on mutual consent and shared goals. The protection of wildlife should be a shared responsibility, not a source of conflict. The use of drones must be considered on a case-by-case basis. Each indigenous land has its own unique set of circumstances. The opinions of the indigenous people that live on the land must be taken into account. The technology of the drones must be used in a way that is respectful of the culture. The data collected by the drones must be protected. The data must not be used for any other purpose than to stop poaching. The use of drones must be seen as a tool and not as a replacement for boots on the ground. The indigenous people should be trained to use the drones themselves. This will give them control over the technology. The goal is to create a partnership between the government and the indigenous people. This partnership will help to protect the wildlife and the culture of the indigenous people. The future of conservation depends on our ability to find common ground. The respect of all parties involved is paramount. The planet is watching.